I weighed my options and I decided to stay here in the state of Veracruz in Mexico for the duration until this world crisis is over. Hi everybody, I'm Mike Vondruska. I'm a leading authority on creating itineraries for Mexico exploration travel. Today is Thursday, March 26, 2020. I want to take you back to the beginning of the month. I left Chicago O'Hare March 2nd early in the morning, took a flight to Mexico City. From there, I took a bus to the city of Jalapa. Why? I'm going to get a root canal done. I had one done already here in the capital city with a really good doctor, dentist, and I'm going to get one more this afternoon. So what a way to start a trip, huh? Yeah, let's go on a trip and get a root canal. What the heck? That's what I'm doing. And it's a lot less expensive here in Mexico than it is back in the States. So I had that done, and then from there I continued on by bus to the city of Veracruz, where just the next town over is where I have my apartment and my office. I was there for about a week. After that, I took a bus back to Mexico City where I was to meet some travel guests. It's a little bit unique because these travel guests were actually my friends from Atlanta. And so that was a treat. They were coming down, I had a guide, and we were going to tour Mexico City and all the great things that you can see and do there for 8 days. They were to arrive on the 13th of March. That was a Friday. We toured on Friday. We toured the downtown area. Then on Saturday we took this excellent Segway tour to really see the neighborhoods, to really get a feel for the Mexican culture. A lot of people were out on Saturday. At that time, that was the 14th of March, everybody was still out on the streets. It was normal here. And we hadn't really understood the seriousness of this epidemic that was starting to unfold, especially in the US. There were only a few cases in the entire country of Mexico at that time, and so we thought, big deal, it's like the flu. We continued to explore Mexico City. On Sunday, we went to this place called Xochimilco. Then on Monday, we actually went to the big ruins of Teotihuacan, about an hour north of Mexico City. And again, as you'll see in this video clip, we're thinking, hey, big deal. You know, everybody's panicking back in the States. It's not a big deal. All right. Taxis here in Mexico only take up to 4 people. We've got 5 people. And normally, where's Cuauhtemoc? There he is. And normally a taxi driver wouldn't take 5, but this guy said, yeah, sure. So these guys are all smacked and crashed and packed in the back. However, Monday night, we started really seeing the seriousness online about what was going on in the States. Now, Mexico was like a couple weeks behind that. They only had a couple cases, not that many, at that time. And even right now, today, there are, I believe, less than 600 in the entire country of Mexico. Now, in case you're not quite sure how big Mexico is, here's an example. Let's look at the United States. From New York City to San Francisco is about 2,900 miles. In Mexico, from the East Coast, where you would find Cancun on the Caribbean Sea, if you were to travel all the way across west to the Pacific side, to Puerto Vallarta. It's 2,500 miles. So that will give you an idea how big Mexico is. And at that time, in the early part of that week, here in March, we're thinking, okay, you know, there were, I think, 50 cases of this thing going on in the entire country, no big deal. But as I mentioned, Monday night we really started seeing the seriousness of it, and on Tuesday I get a knock at my door where we were staying from my clients, and they said, you know what, we have to take off. And so we went to the airport, we made arrangements, and they flew back earlier than they were going to. Sometimes your plans change, and my travel guests that were here with me decided they needed to get back, so we postponed, or no, actually we canceled the rest of the days. It's Tuesday, we were supposed to be here through Friday. They were going to leave to go back to Atlanta. We dropped them off. Now we're trying to get one of the other travel guests home, and they're going to, instead of leaving Friday, they're going to be leaving tomorrow. That's what's happening. Things are changing. There's a lot of people here at the Mexico City airport right now. We've got everything situated, so now we're going back to our apartment, and we're going to hang out one more day here in Mexico City, but we're not going to go out and tour or anything. We're just pretty much going to hang out. I was left with my guide after we dropped off the other client on Wednesday morning at the airport. We went back to the apartment, the Airbnb that we were staying at, and then my guide, my friend, he left to go back home, and I invested the day. I sat in the apartment, I looked at a lot of different online news articles and videos, and tried to ascertain, should I get out and go back to the States? Should I stay here in Mexico in my apartment in Veracruz? What should I do? Throughout the day I went back and forth and back and forth. What should I do? Some of my well-intentioned friends back in the States, you know, wrote me and said, you need to come home, you need to come home. Of course, I'm a little bit different, in a little different situation here. I'm not a tourist, I'm not vacationing here. I have an apartment, I have clothes, I have a kitchen, I have refrigerators, I have a place here, which is way different from like being stranded in a country and you're trying to get home. I am home. I mean, this is one of my homes. I always say to myself, when I'm leaving from Illinois to go to Mexico, I'm going home. And when I'm leaving from Mexico to go back to Illinois, I'm going home. Finally, I made the decision, I'm staying. So here I am. I'm in Veracruz, Mexico, and I am working from my office. I am not just sitting on my butt doing nothing. We're working on other new trips. We're putting out information on social media. I'm making more videos. So even though I'm not going to be traveling, when I got to here to Veracruz, I put myself in self-isolation. In fact, for the last 3 days, I've just been in my apartment office, and this is the first time I said, you know what, this morning I need to get out, I need to walk, to get some exercise, to get some fresh air, to relax, to see the calming effect, or feel the calming effect of the ocean here. And so it's a plus. This is a 15-minute walk from my apartment. So I'll keep you informed as to what's happening here in Mexico. They are taking it more seriously, they meaning the government of Mexico. A lot of places have closed down. Not everything has closed down. Not yet anyway. They're at what they call phase 2 at this point, which is initially some people from that are Mexican came back from traveling and they brought it with them. That's stage 1. Stage 2 is now it's starting to slowly spread, like just within the community or within the area where they live. That's where we're at right now. Stage 3 would be where it's really getting widespread, and that hasn't started to happen yet. But the kids are out of school. The Easter holiday is coming up, which is huge here in Mexico, and I don't think that's going to happen. I know some of the places have already contacted their clients, especially the beach places, and said, hey, you know, please don't come, we're going to be closed. And I know that's happening here in Veracruz. I can't vouch for that at this point. In some of the big, huge places like Cancun and Puerto Vallarta and places like that, Cabo, I don't know yet what they're doing, but I'm sure they're going to make a decision very soon. In the meantime, I'm staying safe. I'm staying a distance from everybody as I'm walking here today, but people, you can probably see behind me, are still running, biking, jogging, walking their dog. This is an energetic, high energy place. That's why, one of the reasons why I really like Veracruz. All right, that's it for now. So I'll keep you informed, as I mentioned. Stay safe out there wherever you happen to be holed up, and we're gonna get through this. They're gonna find cures for this. We're gonna beat this, and then we can get back to our normal lives. And for those of you that are travelers, well, we are ready to invite you back to Mexico, as well as all the other tour operators around the world, around the different countries, are just waiting for this to be over so the tourism business can get back to normal. All right, as they say in Spanish, hasta pronto. We'll see you soon.